All right, and welcome back to East County Prep Football Previews Series. I'm Ramon Scott, joined by Dave Dickens of EastCountySports.com, and we got him, Dave. The Cajon Valley Braves are joining us tonight. Pleasure to have with us the top row. Let's talk about the players first. Dave, left to right on your screen, these are all seniors, of course. I think we've had all seniors on our shows, and appropriately so. Yeah, so far, ISAAC Ochoa in the center, Joe Malone, and on the right, Black Hills State bound Clarence Johnson, and joined, of course, by the driver of the energy bus himself, Coach Nick Osborne, former Aztec great. Dave, great to have the Braves with us, and 5 games, including a scrimmage with the Sultans next Friday. These guys can't wait to get back on the field, just like all of our athletes in all the sports.
I can't wait to see them actually. All the growth that they've had over the past couple of years that we've got to see the Braves. For sure. They're seniors now already. It seems like just yesterday they were rebuilding the team. Coach Osborne had just started, and we were kind of figuring out our identity. And Coach, I'll start off with you. That's pretty much how it was, and I think maybe you have a solidified, if you will, team, at least with the amount of guys that you have going both ways.
I like that you asked that question because I was at church today, and lo and behold, who'd I run into? Coach Hines from Coronado. And we were just kind of reminiscing about the last couple of years, and 2 years ago, which you guys all remember, the kind of landslide game that we had against them. Yeah, you remember that hit across the middle there, CJ. But it was, I just remember after that game. I just remember how sweet it was. Just there was kind of a realization of where we were at, and. Guys started to really kind of say, you know what, I guess, what we were trying to preach, like people were starting to take to heart. And it's really starting to show up, little bit by bit. We're starting to gain a lot more respect by teams, not just by, points and all those things, but just by the way we play, the way we carry ourselves. One thing that I did not like coming into, coaching at the school was just the type of reputation that we had across the county, being told that we're not classy or, having that sort of, rep when we come into games. And now, we have multiple coaches and, people across the county saying, you guys, we love you guys, and we love to see what you guys are doing there and see that, the great things that are happening, on campus. And, it feels good to hear that. And, there's things that I believe in, but I think it's a real tribute to, the guys like we see right here with us that have really bought into it. And, it's kind of like, it's really in their hearts that they want to see that kind of change. And so, I think that's been really honestly the driving force, for seeing the result in the field. And I said, I told you 2 years ago, Dave, like our focus again is always going to be on is creating a program where respect and high character is number one, and doing well in school. And you will see the result on the field just from the result of that. And I know like we like to focus a lot on X and O's and this guy and that guy and this strength and all that, but honestly, it comes down to character. These guys have learned, especially Joe and Clarence, they've been with this program for 4 straight years. And they see the difference between somebody who really commits themselves to the program, and they can see the result of how that affects themselves on the field, and how it affects the team.
Dave, combined with how long we've been following these guys, when I saw Joe and Clarence pop, I thought Coach Osborne got a 5th year of eligibility out of these guys. We've been covering them for so long.
Well, my next question was, Joe, you and Clarence in particular, you got to be on the same page every play now. I bet you know that playbook: upwards, forward, backwards, sideways.
Still working on it.
But But you guys have been playing so long together, and what I was also going to ask you, it's kind of off topic. How is it to be on campus and be on such a nice campus now? Also, all the renovations and because you already had the culture that you guys have built, but then to actually have the infrastructure there too, and have such a, I mean, it needed an overhaul for a year. When was back there in '89 and '90, I mean, it needed an overhaul back then. So, what is it like to walk onto El Cajon Valley High School, even if it is 2 days a week? I'm going to give that one to you, Clarence.
I'd say it feels like the atmosphere of the school just feels a lot more like professional. You like it doesn't feel like I'm going to the school to be playing around. Like it just feels like things are more serious.
And Joe, I mean, what do you have to say about that? I mean, and Coach kind of led into that. I mean, academically, and now you got a nice looking school. You have a competitive football team. I mean, from freshman year till now, I mean, it's just you've had growth all around you in every possible way.
Yeah, it's been really nice going from how we were 5 years ago. My brother was a sophomore, just with like how I saw the school and like how I saw the football team compared to now, like all the buildings that we have now, like it's just insane. It's so nice and just makes everything just feel better because it's like we're finally starting to get the things we deserve.
And Joe, you guys have put it. I mean, you got a name for yourselves, like Coach was saying. I mean, you are well respected, and I'll reiterate what Coach Estes had said. He said, we're not going to go into that taking the Braves too lightly, and he's impressed with what Coach has done and instilled inside of all of you as players, and he sees it. So if other coaches see it, you guys have really done you've done the work. He's laid out the platform, but you guys have actually picked up the fundamentals of football and the classroom. And I remember also, Coach also mentioned at home as well, being held accountable at home. I think that's something that we tend to forget, especially at the high school level, that respect at home is also as equally important as the other two. That's for you, Joe.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, it's been like a long way coming compared to like some of the other coaches we've had and how like lenient they've been. And coaches came in and we just got straight to business. And I know like for CIF it's 2.0, but it's always been 2.3 for us. And we're just holding ourselves higher. And then with being at home, being respectful at home, I know it's hard for everybody, but it's even hard because my dad's a coach. So if I'm not respectful at practice, it's just the same way going at home. So. But yeah, I mean, everybody just like in general, everybody's nicer. Like everybody on the team, we all get along. There's no bickering, no fighting. It's just everybody's respectful to each other and everybody else.
Isaac, I'm gonna head over to you. And I've asked quite a few of the other players on the other squads throughout the county. Isn't this seem like it's going to be, even though it's a 6-game season or 5.5, if you will, however you want to look at it, doesn't it seem like this is going to be one of the most exciting, spectacular years, even with a shortened season, because of everything that we've all gone through? I'll just say, as Americans in the United States, I mean, we have gone through so much, and you guys in particular being pushed back and okay, just another month, and then I mean, you've had what 14 months of 10 to 14 months of strengthening, conditioning, and getting ready for this thing. So this has got to be the sweetest season probably yet to come, and I'm sure that everybody will come out, even if they have to be out in the parking lot. What are your thoughts on that?
I'd say it's probably going to be exciting, since it's going to be a short season. I feel like all the other players want to put more effort than they usually would into the game. They want to be able to go all out, and because it is a short season, everybody has like high expectations, and it's up to the players if they are going to show up, which I'm sure they will. I'm sure that every guy there is probably going to put 101% of their effort into it, and I really think it's going to be a great season.
It's going to be an awesome 5 or 6 weeks, Dave. And I just want to mention, you mentioned home, and I'll just throw it in from a football perspective. I'll let you continue with your questioning, but these Braves will play 3 of their 5 scheduled games at home at Priest Field. We're going to play Sweetwater, West Hills, and end that 5-game stretch with the Hoover Cardinals, interestingly, and we will play Monte Vista on the road. I think 4 home games. Mount Miguel also. So I think that's the actual first game. Mount Miguel, Sweetwater, followed by at West Hills versus at Monte Vista versus West Hills versus Hoover. It's on Instagram if you need to see it. If I screwed it up, Dave. But I think the most interesting thing, Dave, about what Coach Osborne and what we've talked about with the Braves in our interviews over the years, and the way they're talking about the evolvement of more, I want to say the discipline is kind of what Coach was getting at. And when you are able to infuse that discipline and get everyone to believe, even if you're an underdog in a game, by staying disciplined and not making those mistakes, you have the chance to win games when they're close in the fourth quarter. That's the position the Braves have been in many, many times. A lot of times, if we haven't gotten over the hump, it's not the fault of necessarily the players in the game. It might be just a numbers game, if you will, or the quality of the opponents that they're playing as well, but competitive always throughout. And with this schedule, these are going to be some exciting games this season, Dave, over these coming 6 weeks. Also want to throw in that the Braves will be scrimmaging the Sultans on next Saturday morning, I believe, at 10:30. They couldn't work out that to get that to be a regular game, some logistics. It's unfortunate. We only got so many opportunities to play games, Dave, but be nice to see the Sultans in that opener, Dave.
For sure. And for me, personally, I'm actually looking forward to that, because I think that would be a great start to the season, being that I'm over off of here, down here off of Greenfield Mollison. So head down there and check them both out. And two Grossmont Conference teams getting ready, and kind of a preseason, I guess, if you will, game, kind of shake some of the rust out, because I'm sure we're all going to have a little bit of rust. I know we've been working out and we've been conditioning ourselves, but we've had to speed up quite a bit. We've had to get these practices in actually reach a certain number of practices so we can actually play an actual game. So I think that will help quite a bit for both squads. And I think that it's going to be a good testament to see where both teams are, a good evaluation to start the season. Coach, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, and we were talking about this last, before we left for the week, and as the guys know, like, Santana is kind of one of those unspoken, rivalries, I think, within the district, and there's always a little tension when we get to that game. I mean, it's all love afterwards, but like, it's a scrimmage. And we definitely want to improve, and we want to, focus in on certain, aspects, whether it be offense, defense, or special teams. But I believe it's going to be no less competitive. I mean, I know those guys are going to show up. They're probably going to be dressed to impress and doing acting like it's the real thing. So, I expect to see some competition out there, even with, kind of the organized and atmosphere of a scrimmage.
Clarence, you've been in the program for quite a while now, and there's different rivalries for different folks on the team. If you had to pick one out yourself, would Santana be the one, or would there be somebody else? I mean, you've been with the team for quite a while.
If I had to choose a school, I'd choose Granite. Yeah, that's the school I'll choose.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's the school.
Right up the street. And you know what? It's.
Exactly.
I was hoping you would actually mention that because them but being favored for several years, and you've the last time you played them, you did a pretty good job. Well, altogether, your last season was great, and I think this season the only thing that is missing is those non-league games that would really help us get ready for those league games. I think but that's going to be for every team, uh, you know, and then not having a league championship. But aren't we? I think we're just happy to be able to play the game of football and play these 6 games. And I think it's really not only for the seniors to go out and at least be able to hold on to the memories of these games, but I think they're going to be very vital to the juniors that are playing on the squad as well, as far as what their future could be scouting wise and really what future academically.
Yeah, how do you convince these kids, Nick, these seniors, that this is not season 2020B or season 2021A? Is there any problem with that, or is it's just so exciting just to be out there and everyone's just feeling rejoiceful?
I think there's definitely an aspect of saying, like, thank God we get a chance to play. But that doesn't change the expectations. It doesn't change the expectations of each player. And I think, if anything, I see the hunger in these guys. I know that, they might be tired some days, but I can see where their hearts are at, and they really want this. I can see them competing and really going for it in every game that we have for the rest of this season. And, these guys, they've stayed committed since January. I mean, it's a testament, the fact that over a year of off-season training, all these guys have been there, and from the get-go. Some guys that may have gotten in, back and forth through some things, and Clarence, for instance, he's also does quite well in track, and so he's been trying to balance the two, and so we do have to respect that as well. And I know that a lot of other teams are going to have that balance where they're back and forth, whether it's baseball or track or other sports, but these guys are hungry. These guys want to win. They're not looking in here to just be happy and go like, yeah, we got some games, we got to play, that was fun. I know these guys want to win every game, every 5 to finish out.
Isaac, they say that because of this long delay since we've actually been out and played a game, that student athletes are in the best shape of their young lives. Now, I find that hard to believe. I'm getting skinnier. I'm losing muscle tone. I'm even paler than I usually am. Can't go outside. Haven't been able to play any ball, softball, anything. Are you kids, young men, in the best shape of your adult lives?
I think a lot of the guys are, we all want to put in extra work. We all want to win this season, win every single game. And I saw how hard a lot of the guys worked and how serious they took it. So I think this is probably like the peak right now. And I think they're going to keep on going higher and reach higher limits. And I just think this is like a testament to how like strong-willed these guys are, and how desperate, or not desperate, I should say, but like how much they want this season, how much harder they want to play and how much stronger or faster they want to be. And I really see how the guys work hard to achieve their goals.
Joe, I was fortunate last year. I believe it seems like it's been a year and a half. So my math might be off a little bit, but I believe I got to see you guys play 4 times last year, actually on the field, and there was it might have been Claremont. I can't remember who it was, but I tell you, you were a trooper. You had been hit I don't know how many times. I think you were having some trouble maybe with your ankle or something to that effect. And I had never seen somebody that had a will to win despite those injuries, shook those injuries. I mean, I think you had to come off the field for a couple of plays, but I mean, you were begging to go back out there to Coach Cliff as well as Coach Osborne, and lo and behold, I saw you right back out there, and that kind of gave me the idea of what kind of character the El Cajon Valley Braves really had. And this is, we'll just call it a year and a half ago. Just by the way you were playing and you being one of the leaders of the squad. And I think that wore on everybody else on the field around you. And I wanted to talk to you about that, as a matter of fact. Is your line. You gotta take your hats off to your line, and I wanted you to actually name a few of them, and who in particular, or if you just want to call them out as a whole. You're only as good as your line. If you're a running back or you're a quarterback, you are as good as your line is. Period.
Yeah. And last season, a couple of like the big guys that helped out with that was Wendell Walcott, Kevon White, and Salvador Morales, and especially Salvador this year too. Him and I have been playing football together for a long time, and we just have that good connection. And it's like, even like if I get hit a couple times, I can't put that on anybody else. I mean, everybody makes their mistakes. I throw interceptions, I fumble, and it's just nobody's perfect. But every game they came out, even if like somebody got hurt, we didn't have a kid, they were ineligible, everybody was always out there. We're always trying. And then like even like if I get hurt, I still want to get out there. You can't just try to put everything on one person's shoulders. Like I can't just try to put everything on Clarence, or last season try to put everything on Mario. It's just everybody kind of has to carry their weight. So
yeah, and that's something that I saw also is make in reference to character again, and what the coach has instilled into you. And I want to say, not just Coach Osborne, but I want to give credit to his staff, to Cliff as well. He's played a big part as well in your development, and just learning not to watch the scoreboard. And I remember actually that was a quote from you, Coach, to not scoreboard watch. It's not necessarily all about the scoreboard. It's about playing the game, staying in the game, and being competitive. And I definitely saw that the last time you guys played. And hey, you guys were undefeated for a while there, and I think that is one of the main reasons is you were not scoreboard watching. And if you fumbled the ball, if you threw a pick, you got right back out on the field, and you capitalized and learned from those mistakes and put together a couple of nice drives. So you can see the growth because of what you've learned since the early years.
Yeah, I believe that, guys are definitely learning as they kind of develop in the program, and, from freshman to sophomore to junior to senior year, they really start to more and more learn how the little things matter. How, when we talk about pass protection, if you get one guy who steps to the left and everybody else is sliding right, I mean, that's a sack. And that was a potential touchdown to put you in the, a go ahead, touchdown. Now the momentum's on your side. You make a stop on defense, and all of a sudden maybe you've caused a turnover, and now you've like completely changed the game. And these things can lead from the smallest things, and I think that's why I've been so proud to see the guys really start, like, year by year, month by month, day by day, learn how those things matter, and they take it seriously. And just like Isaac said, these guys they're focused in. Even with all the uncertainty of not knowing whether we were going to play or not, I mean, these guys were locked in. I mean, even then, they're still positive, still hanging in there, and, this is only a couple of weeks ago. And I mean, this is just true testament to their own character, regardless of football. And, again, that's in everything. I was just watching some film, just before this, my young 6-year-old, he was like, "So what happened on that play?" And I'm like, "Well, the left tackle, he went and blocked the backside in. He wasn't supposed to, and he let the inside backer blow up the back. And if he didn't, look at all that space." He was like, "Yeah, he could have ran for a touchdown." And it's like little things like that, and I think like this unit, to be honest, I think this is probably going to be our closest O-line units that we've ever had. These guys are a true unit. And that's all you could ever want as a coach, are guys that really just love each other up front and are going to really take care of each other, because that means that I've got automatic accountability that I don't have to worry about, and they're going to push themselves.
Hey, Dave, go ahead, Dave.
Well, I was just going to say it's not even on the field. They don't have the biggest roster, and as I had mentioned, talking with Santana, Coach Tim Estes, they have to go both ways, and they don't have a huge roster. But you can also hear on the sidelines, they are pumping each other up. That was something that I took. I was honing in on is, they were pushing each other, they're holding each other up, even on the side. I'm loud too. You would think you had another 40 players on the sidelines. They were so loud, firing each other up, and I think that's part of it as well, is, the guys that are waiting to come back in, if it's whether it be the defenses, special teams, or if they're just taking a breather, the way that they supported each other from the sidelines as well was very impressive. And I think that is huge, especially when you have smaller rosters like most of the teams in the Valley do, for the Grossmont Valley.
Great point, Dave. Dave, if I could just for a moment feature Clarence a little bit. Coach, I know you're proud of all of the players and everybody getting back, and man, we're just so fired up. But Clarence, just want to talk about your decision. You had a handful of Division II offers, but Black Hills State is where you'll be headed. And Dave, some of the schools that were looking after Clarence, hey, he could have joined all those guys at Southwest Minnesota. I mean, we got 7 or 8 guys from San Diego County. Clarence probably knows that they're going there, but Clarence, tell us about that decision. You also could have been a Laker, Great Lakes Laker, but Clarence, Black Hills State, excited about that?
I'm very excited about it. Very excited about it. There's a lot to get.
Tell us about your decision.
Okay, so with my decision, it was mainly just try out new things. Like I want to experience something different, because all of my life is California, San Diego. So I haven't even seen snow in person. It's crazy, but yeah. So I was like, I want to try it. And then I was talking to the coaches and stuff, and they sounded like a great group.
Coach, you're a former college athlete. What about Clarence? What are his prospects at the Division II level? I mean, hey, let's not make any bones about it. Unfortunately, with our 5-game season, we're only going to get to see Clarence 5 times. You have a legitimate all-CIF player on this roster.
Yeah, I mean, I think when, he was looking at schools, I think one of the things that was definitely important, at least, when I'm trying to look out for the players, is a place that's going to be a place, an atmosphere that holds character at a high value, because that's the kind of atmosphere you want to be able to play in. You want to enjoy your time there. You don't want it to be this stressful 4 or 5 years of your life where you look back and like, dang, why did I go there? And I think it helps that there is a player that I knew personally who came out of a Olympian and went to some schools here, Grossmont and USD, and transferred there, Harold Dobbin. But he just told me about the experience that he's had there, and he loves it there, and just the great he has a great coaching staff, and even just speaking with them on the phone, you could tell that based on the conversation that they were looking for somebody like Clarence, and who is just a great person, not besides being a great athlete. And I'm excited to see him out on the field. I know that they plan on utilizing him quite a bit, and I think developing in this offense has kind of helped. We kind of using him wherever need be. From what they were telling me, they're kind of They like to run one personnel group to be able to run like kind of a no huddle. So everybody has to kind of play a little bit of everything: slot, receiver, running back. And I think that really kind of highlights his abilities and assets. So I think it's a place that he's going to thrive at. I told him he's going to have to wear like 5 sweatshirts, in certain times of the years, but it's I think it's a place that he's going to enjoy and have a great experience and getting out of the box for a little while.
For sure.
So.
Hey, and work on those special teams. Clarence, I know you can be a return man there too, as well as maybe a back or a receiver or a defensive back. But you can really get loose in the snow once in a while. I'm telling you, making kick returns in the snow, it's an easier job than it looks. Dave, Clarence has never seen snow. He's going to be playing in snow. Of all the players, Dave, in the Grossmont Conference returning, I think you could put Clarence in the top 2 or 3 of players that have made spectacular highlights over the last couple of years. Probably Clarence, Tucker at Grossmont. These are the guys that have probably the most highlight reel plays over the last couple of years, Dave.
No, for sure he has, and I've been fortunate to actually see some myself, and just the way he plays on the field and how serious he does take it, and how he's just on it. I've seen several players in my time that they're going to enjoy playing the game of football, but you can see the seriousness that Clarence takes in his craft, and you can see it in his partner in crime over there right next to him, and that's in quarterback Joe Malone too. The both of them really are locked in. I've even tried to get a word in edgewise during a game, and I take no offense to it, fellas, but you guys are locked in, and I should expect no less than that. And it's just so impressive, the growth that you guys have had since I saw you guys start a couple of years ago, and where you're headed. And that was my next question, Joe. Have you received any calls? Are you looking at any community colleges? Are you looking at any universities, changing sports? What's your plan?
Well, I've been talking to a couple schools in Missouri, but I don't know. I haven't really decided on anything yet. Kind of seeing how the rest of this year goes. Trying to finish out school, have a little bit of fun while I can, and then either go out to Missouri, try to find somewhere far away, or go to Grossmont, Cuyamaca, something like that. Just haven't really decided, haven't really thought about it. Just trying to get school done, play some football, and then figure out when to play more football.
You got the recipe. You got the recipe for success, Joe. That's exactly. So you've been picking up what Coach has been laying down 100%. Go ahead, Ramon.
Well, I just want to know if Joe's got any, or maybe Coach Nick could tell us if Joe's got any coaching tendencies that stand out. Maybe a future coach. You talked about his dad, and Coach Nick, does Joe show that kind of leadership? We know he does, but do you think he ever wants to coach football?
One thing I know that's in Joe's future is probably dirt bikes, sand dunes, and football. So however that's mixed up, I don't know, but I'm sure football is going to be in the picture.
Yeah. Add on to that, I played youth football ever since I was in first grade, and my dad and I have been talking because another coach, Coach Kelly, he's actually the president of the El Cajon Falcons. My dad and I have been talking about taking on like a Pee Wee team, him and I coaching together.
That's how it starts. That's how it starts, right, Coach?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the Burners did it at El Cap, so there's no reason why you couldn't do it yourself. And speaking of that, through this whole pandemic, we got to hear. We didn't get to hear it from the horse's mouth, but we got to hear it from his defensive coordinator Sean McDade over at El Capitan that Coach Burner the whole year said, "Stay ready, stay ready, stay ready. We are going to play. We are going to play. We are going to play." And he kept pounding it into him all season long, we are going to get a season in. I don't know when, but we are going to get a season in.
Yeah.
Great point, Dave. Isaac kind of led into that a little bit. Let's go back to Isaac. Isaac, just over the last, let's just call it, month or so, we went from the lowest low to feeling that possibility. What did you and your friends talk about every day? How did you feel? Were you preparing? Did Coach Osborne get that feeling from that we kind of got? If you follow the social media a little bit, maybe the hope was there, and then that rally that we had just down the street. I don't know if you guys went to that or tried to participate in your own way. But Isaac, what has been the feeling just as a student athlete, thinking that this might not happen, and then all of a sudden it's happening?
Definitely something that everybody felt at first. We all thought we weren't going to get a season. Well, personally, I thought we weren't going to get a season. I was super bummed out. I was like, man, we're not going to get one. And then I heard, oh, yeah, get ready. We're going to have a season. And immediately I was just like, we are, like a little kid, I was like hyped up. Everybody was like happy about it. We were all excited, and, a lot of the guys were happy, we're like, okay, yeah, we're going to have a season. We're going to put in effort and everything. And, a lot of guys, they were like, yeah, our effort's not going to go, it's not going to be wasted. We are going to have a season. So definitely that was something that really brightened up our time. We from going to we're not going to have a season to we definitely will be. And, we're getting ready for a season now. So that was
Joe,
exciting.
It's not fair to have to go to school and not get to play sports. What happened these couple of weeks, man? How was the excitement level, not only then as it's happening, but we're just, a week away from getting on the field and 2 weeks from you guys getting that first game. The excitement level.
Yeah, I've been super excited. And even when we were first supposed to get our season, we got pushed back. I put some things behind me, didn't want to do them just because I saw that thought in the back of my head that we were going to get a season. But thankfully, luckily for me, this year, I've just been distance all year. I've been going to school a couple times, going to see Coach, have him help me a little bit. But yeah, school's been weird. It's hard to get work done. You just kind of feel like it's not mandatory, but then you hit that and you're like, well, yeah, I guess I got to do it. But yeah.
I can speak personally from that with my sophomore at home that the structure of the campus really is vital, I think, to so many students and student athletes, especially to be actually on the campus and in the classroom. I would speak for myself too. If I had to go through what you guys have had to go through back when I was going to school, I don't know if I could handle that screen for that long. I mean, doing these shows is great and it's fun to do and talk to the kids, the coaches, but 3-4 hours in a day or more, I don't know if I could. It's pretty tough, and I do sympathize on that that you were put in that position. But I think that really you can already see this. And Coach, do you see it yourself that ever since you got the word that football was to be played, and not only that, but then also our Scripps Ranch coaching friend, when he actually read it off, that indoor sports were going to be played as well, and pretty much California's youth sports as a whole. The mental talking to these kids these days, I'm sure even on campus, has done a 180.
Yeah,
Made it easier.
it's. I think there had some conversations with the guys just about hanging on and maintaining hope, and that there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with holding on to hope. I think some of us, especially as men, kind of like are just, let's just move on, and let's not go there so that we don't have to feel that sense of like, let down, right? We don't want to have to experience that sense of failure, and but it's okay to have hope, and even if it doesn't work out, you still gave it your all, and that matters because that's going to amount for something. And it's been the hugest blessing, I think, for us all to get that word. And, I think definitely another positive that came out of this whole process was the unification of coaches within the county, across the state. We kind of formed a group. And we use kind of the virtual platform to be able to do that and communicate with each other, and put out those statistics of how our workouts are going. And we were just spitting information back and forth. And honestly, that was how I kept up to date with everything that was going on. And I think I started to see a lot of a light in the tunnel coming into January. When Coach Walsh from Sarah up in Northern California and Gladnick from Torrey Pines are meeting regularly with the governor's office, we could see that there's definitely some movement. And on top of that, me as a math teacher, I keep data, so I'm watching the numbers. And I don't know if you guys up top, the integrated 3, I saw an exponential pattern. You guys remember decay? So I saw quite a bit of decrease, and I saw it going in the right direction. And I think that definitely gave me a lot of hope. But at the same time, as my wife tells me, I got to be real with everybody too. And the reality is we might not, but it's at the same time I'm super excited. It's like we're doing a week 3 months work in a few days, so so get ready.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling that's what I told Ramon. I said, I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we're gonna do baseball, we're gonna do football, we're gonna do all 3, and we're gonna make it happen. And the same thing, we kind of held each other up. Ramon was a little skeptical, with the numbers and the curve, and I said, no, we're gonna play. It's gonna happen. We're gonna get a season in. Maybe we're not gonna get a full, but we're gonna get a season in, and we're gonna get indoor seasons. It's gonna happen. I will not accept it not happening. And I'm a believer in that anyway. The more times that you speak something out like that it can manifest itself. And voila, here we are. And we may not have a full season, but I am containing myself how excited I am for you guys as a team to come out there and do your thing, and be able to be a part of it. And the interviews, the before and after interviews, watching you guys celebrate a win or 2 wins or 3 or maybe even undefeated. Watching last year's team, how excited you guys were when you were undefeated for so long was just incredible. And Coach, it had been a while since El Cajon Valley had reached that staple, and for you to be there, I'm sure you were just as excited. I know you weren't going to oversell it, but I'm sure you were very proud of these boys.
Yeah, absolutely. We shared a lot of tears together, especially after that first game versus Francis Parker, and the game against Coronado as well. A lot of redemption there, and but at the same time, I think they got even afterwards. And especially the Claremont game, I think we all learned through adversity those little things that we need to do in order to overcome those situations. Because at the same time, you can get real high. You can start to forget about those, like we said, those little things. And, obviously that kind of reared its ugly head in that game. And I think this class, these seniors, these guys right here, I don't think they're going to want that to happen this time. And so I think it's going to be definitely a special season to go out on.
Clarence, are you ready for maybe let's just throw out 18 touchdowns in this shortened season?
That would be
ready for that?
Hey, why not?
It's a different kind of season.
You're right. It is a different kind of season. That would be a blessing. But we'll see what happens.
And I'm sure your partner right next to you too. I'm sure Joe, you wouldn't mind throwing him 18 touchdown passes, would you?
No, I would not.
Hey, I think I've kind of said it all the way along the doing the shows, Dave, that every game's a championship game. There's no league champion, there's no section champion, and to be corny about it, everybody's a winner getting back on the field. Everybody's a winner getting back to our lives, really, and that's what we're going to be celebrating each and every week when we get out there. Okay, guys, we went over a few names. You gave us a few names. We know the Braves don't have 7 guys on their roster. We're going to quiz each of you maybe to give us a name or two of guys that you might know. First name, last name, maybe their position, maybe they play next to you. We'll ask Coach Osborne maybe to help us out at the end with a couple more if we forgot anybody. Isaac, you named a few, and your lineman there. You got Sal on the line. Give me some other guys, Isaac.
Yeah, we got Jesse Guerra. We have Samir Issa there. We also have Luis there. I forget his last name, but we have
Coach
some
will help.
guys there who
Hernandez.
definitely. So yeah, Jaheim there. I think Jaheim's gonna be playing. I'm not completely sure, but Luis
He
Mendes, like I mentioned, you guys are all glad to play. They're all excited.
Joe, give us a couple more.
We got Daniel Jacobs, Mario's little brother. He's coming out. He wants to play. We got Jaden Barnett. We saw him last year, touchdown against Mount Empire.
Great hooper.
Derek, yeah, he is. Derek Robinson. Who else? We got Jalen. I don't know Jalen's last name, but we got him. James, Clarence's little brother. Ruben Casio. Who else? We just got a transfer. What's up?
I was just saying, I'll cut you off, Joe. I don't want to. I got to give Clarence a shot, and if you take everybody, Clarence gonna be left holding the bag. Gonna have nobody left. Clarence, they've named a few. Is there any? We know the Braves have a short roster. There's got to be a couple more.
All right, so we got Wendell Walcott. We got
The
Josh.
man.
He's a transfer. I don't know last names, but
McComb, Joshua,
he said
Michael.
what?
You talking about Michael McEvoy? Michael or Josh?
No, he's talking about Josh.
Josh.
Josh, yeah. Josh, but yeah, Michael too. I was about to get there, but you kind of cut me off. That's
Coach
all I
Wendell,
can remember.
name a few more guys, but Wendell, obviously, we've talked to him several times. Talk about an all-leaguer. Certainly, you have another one there in Wendell. And like Joe mentioned, great athlete like Jaden. He's going to be a great basketball player. We're starting football season. Basketball tryouts are next week. Baseball next week. Coach, got any more players for us?
Yeah, I think with one special guy I definitely want to mention is Saul Roscoe. He's definitely been a guy that's shown out quite a bit. He's been really committed to the team and on the O line, and I expect him to have a bigger role this year, along with the rest of the crew. But other guys that come to mind, oh man, I'm trying to think, guys.
Rafi.
Back there. Yeah, Rafi Marquez. Sahel. Oh, yeah, we definitely mentioned Sahel. Kind of does a little bit of everything. Running back and on the linebacking side of things. Oh, man.
You're good. No one's going to give you grief until you get back to practice on tomorrow. So
No,
we'll see
Coach.
him out there. We'll be covering them. Go ahead, Dave.
How about your staff too? I always like to include that too. Has your coaching staff changed at all, or everybody returning? And
yeah, no, everybody's going to be there. Same guys. Coach Natoli is still returning as our defensive coordinator. Coach Malone is, obviously, is Joe's dad. He's our defensive line coach, and Coach JD. He's kind of taken a little bit bigger of a role this year. JD Sal. He's kind of been, he's helped out a little bit here and there. Coach Deontay Winston also helps, assist on the O line. Cliff is going to be there as well. Coach Kevin Kelly. Coach Steve Eslua is going to be in running backs. I should have said Coach Kelly's going to be doing the receivers. And am I forgetting anybody here? Yeah. So Yeah, so that's our staff, and I think one thing I have to point out is Coach Kelly, he's an alum. Coach Steve, he's an alum. Coach Cliff, he's an alum. Coach Malone, he's an alum. I mean, these guys are dedicated to this program and this team. Coach Natoli has been in this district for over 30 years and been at our school for over 20, 25 years. So these are guys who love to coach and love being on this team. And honestly, we couldn't be doing what we're doing without them. I mean, just the commitment that they put into this program throughout this whole off season. I mean, those guys have been there from day one. Even without, they were coaching for free. We all are. But we had a higher purpose for why we were out there, and I can't ask for any more. I mean, I'm so thankful even just for their wives and allowing them to be out there as much as they were. So, they're definitely the rock of our program.
That brings me to a question about Coach Cliff, because is he going to be the utility coach for all seasons as he has been in the past? I saw him on the basketball court many times filling in. If he's not coaching, he's running the scoreboard. If he's not running the scoreboard, he's coaching baseball. I think he lives there. I know he's got some young kids too. So, like you mentioned about the wives and everything too, Coach has got some leeway because he's done a heck of a job with El Cajon Valley as a whole. I mean, he's been everywhere on that campus.
Yeah, and a great point there. Good job, Coach. Got you back real quick. You got us good? You back in with us, Coach?
What just happened?
Okay. He moved to his other device.
Oh, wait.
There you go.
Oh, sorry about that.
There you go, Coach. Good job. We got you. We got your back. It's a great point that Dave led into as you were switching there. I'll recap a little bit in case you missed it, but I'll also do a follow-up. Maybe you can just respond to what I'm saying. I'll kind of tie it into what Dave was saying. How are you coaches managing some of the coaches that have double duties now that this whole sequence of events is happening? I haven't asked anybody this yet. How are those coaches that maybe have multiple responsibilities with 2 or 3 different teams managing it? We know about how the players are kind of managing it and what their situation is, but how about assistant coaches or head coaches?
It's going to be a juggling act to make it all work. That some coaches will need to miss some practices to be able to, make sure that their teams are getting what they needed. And, I think one thing that's been important, that we met, long before, kind of anticipating this scenario, to make sure that we're all on the same page, and that we know we're want to do what's best for the athletes and making sure that they get to do and experience what they want to experience. I've got multiple kids who are going to be doing track, and they're going to be doing track practice and football during the week, including Clarence, so, because he's a potential CIF finalist, and, we want to make sure that him and other kids get that opportunity to do so. And coaches are going to have to do the same balancing act. I mean, I may have to be the receiver coach or, DB coach one day. We'll figure it out. And, but we've done that. I mean, that's nothing new to us. I mean, we've all kind of held got each other's back. And, if we got to do what we got to do, we'll work on my kick slides. And, I'll be like, Clarence, okay, so what's that step again? We've been there. So we're going to do whatever it takes to make it work. But yeah, it'll be a challenge for all of us.
Hey, Clarence, how about your experience with this coaching staff, with Coach Osborne and the rest of them, and what about your affinity towards them and how you feel going to get these games off? But tell me about those coaches.
I wouldn't be the player that I am if it wasn't for these coaches. They've shaped me into a great person compared to how I was when I first came into high school. 'Cause when I first came into high school, I was pretty selfish. Pretty selfish. I was thinking about like me, what I can do on the field. Give me the ball. Let me do what I do. And now the coaching staff that Coach Osborne's put together has really made me see more of like a team aspect when it comes to the game of football.
He
Joe?
took he took the Randy Moss out of him.
Joe, what do you say? Hard to follow up that answer. Tell me about this coaching staff. Not your dad. Everybody but your dad.
I love these coaches. I've known Coach Cliff, Coach Natoli, Coach Steve for a really long time just because of both my brothers going to the high school. So I've known the coaching staff for a while. And then Coach D coming in last year, and then Coach JD. And I just love them all. It's kind of nothing else you can really say. They've all been there for everything. They don't ever treat me or anybody like a kid. We always get treated like men. We all get our respect, and that's pretty much it. I mean, they're always there. They push us, and they're the reason we know what we're doing to win games.
Isaac, what would you like to say publicly about these guys, the coaches?
I mean, they're great people. Honestly, they are probably the greatest people I could have met in my teenage years. You know, they guide the guys so well when it comes to like not only on the field, but also like in school and even helping them out sometimes in life. Like Coach Natoli, I'm thankful for him. He was actually the guy who got me into football. And, you know, Coach Cliff, great guy, you know, Coach Osborne, everybody else. I'm thankful for them, you know, helping me out. And like, not only even when I was going through like harder times and in my personal life, they were there, you know, and even in the field, they were there, you know, just helping me out, you know, telling me we're here for you, you know, we can help you out if you need help. And I'm just grateful that they're the people coaching us.
Yeah, Dave, and listening to Coach Nick and what he was saying about how he kept encouraging these guys through the pandemic kind of makes me wish that, you know, I was a part of the Braves team or something. We could have used a little motivation throughout all these months, but it's all come to fruition now, at least throughout, you know, some definitely down times for all of us in society. But this is the reward these next 6 weeks and beyond the rest of the school year with athletics. But I think once we get these football games started, we're all going to start to feel that normalcy. Really, they talk about the normalcy coming back. Let's get on that field on Friday night, and I'll let you know then.
No, for sure. I think, and that's where it starts. Is I think it starts with football, and then I think pretty much the rest of the sports are going to follow. I mean, we already have dates. Talking to a few coaches over at Monte Vista as far as girls basketball is concerned. I know they're going to start their first practice on the 13th. They're having this same kind of issue, I'm sure, that Coach Osborne's having. I don't want to call it an issue, but you got to share the field, you know, with lacrosse and soccer over there, and same thing. She's battling the volleyball schedule over there, and then talked to Frank Coit over at Mount McGill, and it sounds like the 23rd. They actually already played Foothills Christian, I believe it was yesterday in a scrimmage. But their first official game is on the 23rd. So if you look and you wrap them all together, there's going to be quite, I think, a sport playing every day in the county at every school, pretty much. So work cut out for us. That's an understatement.
You're never going to hear Ramon Scott complain about too much sports. All right.
Not after this. I'm never going to complain after what we all endured, whether it be the student athletes, whether it be the coaches, or even the media. I am never going to complain about too much sports ever again.
Well, we can't wait to see all the games. I can't wait to see the El Cajon Valley Braves. Just make a note again. I don't know. I didn't look at all the schedules yet. I mean, they're kind of coming out piecemeal a little bit, but The Braves have 4 home games. I don't know if any other schools do. Maybe they do. Maybe a couple of them have 4. 3, Coach? All right. 3
That's
times.
cool.
3 times out at Priest Field, and we're going to get a look at them each and every week. We want to thank for joining us, the El Cajon Valley Braves tonight. Dave, of course, ISAAC Ochoa, Joe Malone, Clarence Johnson, seniors from the Braves, and Coach Nick Osborne. Dave, send us out of here.
Absolutely. And I just want to thank you, gentlemen, for taking your time on a little bit of a later evening on your Sunday. And just let you know how much we do appreciate the El Cajon Braves and the organization, the school, and the players and coaching staff. Thank you so much for showing up tonight. And for Ramon Scott, I'm Dave Dickens. Thank you for joining us this evening, and have a blessed evening.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, man. See y'all later.